All right, guys. Hey, I just want to go over a couple things that we really haven't talked a lot about. I might have talked to Solomon a few times about this, but this might be brand new to Manib. But I definitely wanted to go over it for the both of you guys. And here it is. There's two things here that I picked up on this weekend of offers that I want you guys to start paying a little more attention to. And this is no fault to you guys'. I might not have talked about this yet, but we're going to talk about it today. So when you're putting out offers, so we got a some interest on this Mississippi Avenue, and we put an offer on this property. I think Manib did this at 231, right? And they have it listed at 240, um, and they have some interest in this. But here's where we're going to run into some issues when you're putting out offers, just take a quick peek to see how long this has been on the market. Now, you guys working the newly listed properties every time, you really don't have to pay a lot of attention to it. But if you're going back and you're pulling older properties or whatever, you definitely want to just take a quick peek at the how long it's been on the market. So this one's been on the market for almost 2 months, right? And if you want to go over to this history tab, it can really tell you a lot about what's been going on at this property. So they've been trying to sell this property all the way through 2019, and then 2020. It looks like they started at 287. They started at 290, 295, 290, 290, 287, 287, 260. They've been dropping this price. This property isn't moving. Now they got it at 240, and they've been at 240 for 2 months. Our offer is at 231, so we're only $9,000 off. Uh, Chances are if they can't if they've already seen offers like ours before, and other if you know or people aren't sending them offers like ours because the property's not worth it. So here's my point. If they got it just a few $1,000s more than an offer, but it's been on the market 2 months and they can't sell it at this price, we're not going to be able to sell it at this price. Okay, so when you see that, you want to immediately stop and back up. Maybe your ARV's off. I actually looked at the ARV. I can't find the issue either that Maneem made. I think the ARV is fairly accurate, but there's something going on at this property. We're not going to be able to sell it at 231 if they can't sell it. Or we can't. We're not going to be able to sell it for to an investor for $9,000 less than what they got listed for. They've already seen offers probably a lot lower than ours. They maybe or maybe they're nobody's sending offers at all. But anyways, I just wanted to drive that home. Just when you're looking at this and you see a property that's been on the market for a while, and our offer price is just a few $1,000s less than their list, then there's probably something going on that we're missing. So, what do I do in these situations? I go to the low solds is what I do. So let me take a look at that, and I'll come back and I'll kind of go over what I would typically do when I see this type of action, and my purchase price is a few thousand less. I look at it a little differently. So let me look at this a little closer, and then I'll come back to you guys. All right, so just kind of back to this property. So again, just to recap, they're listed at 240. They've been listed at 240 for over 2 months, and we came in at our purchase price coming in at 231. So we're not much lower than their purchase price. There's something wrong. We're going to have a tough time trying to sell it at 231, being that they can't get it sold on the open market at 240. So when I see that, I pull up all the solds in that square footage range, right? Just like we normally do. But I'll go down to the lowest solds in that complex. So this will really apply more so with Manib than it would be with Solomon. Manib focusing on the attached buildings. So just to kind of talk about this, my guess is the view is probably not very good, and being that it's on the one of the lower floors, it will probably not sell as much. So in these high rises, like when you get up at the top part of the building, they go for more usually, and the lower part of the building usually go for a lot less. Not always, but sometimes. So like these right here is probably going to be the low price of that. So this one would probably be actually a really good deal, be on the 15th floor. But so on this one, that's probably my guess with this. But what I would just do is a quick and down dirty trick to just kind of get a quick value on this, knowing we're not going to sell it at 231. Just go to the lowest solds, and I'd probably come in around 200 on this one, and that's what I would do on this. So that will probably get us sold a lot better. So, anyways, that is the first one I want to go over. There's a second property I want to go over real fast, and I'm going to pull that up here in a second and then come back. All right, so this next property, Solomon and I have been working a little bit together on this over the weekend, just because I don't have the needs. I probably do. You're Skype somewhere, but yeah, moving forward, I'll probably get a Skype out to Manib, make sure that we're on the same page on this stuff. But so Solomon's already aware of this one, but I wanted to talk about this a little bit because you'll run across this from time to time. And so this property, we actually put it under contract, and I do think I'm going to sell it. But be very careful when you're looking at these properties. So when you pull this up and you see your property clicked on the map and you see something like this real close by, take a look at that to see what that is. So in this case, this is the same property. So what has happened here, this is the property, and this guy picked it up. He picked it up just about maybe a month and a half ago at 210, and then he relisted that property at 255 just to see if he could get somebody to grab it up while he's waiting to get in there with his rehab crew. You'll see this from time to time in investors. It's smart, you know. I mean, sometimes they can just dump them off and make 30 grand without having to do anything to it. Why wouldn't they, right? And so that's what these guys are doing. Now here's the problem that we're going to run into. I ran the numbers, and I do agree with Manib. I think the numbers are pretty close to being there. But what we're going to run into is that all the other investors out there are also going to see this. They're going to see this guy's picked this up at 210, and then we got it at 237. So that is what, a $27,000 spread minus commission, right? And so that guy is going to be making somewhere around 20 grand from this transaction minus whatever costs he has into holding the property, hard money costs, HOA. There's some other costs in there, so probably not total 20 grand, but he's making probably at least 15 grand off our contract. So, we're gonna, when you have this situation, when I go to resell it, all the other investors I try to resell are gonna see this, and it really turns them off. Now, do I think the numbers are still there? Do I think Manib's numbers were correct? Yeah, I do. Actually, I think they're pretty darn close. But when you see that, we approach this a little differently. This guy just got a really steal of a deal here. I would at 210, I would have sold that at 220 all day long. Yeah, but at 237, we're gonna struggle to get an investor to make that spread there. Am I going to give it a shot? Sure I am, because the market's hot right now, and we'll do it. But when you run across this and you see that your property has just recently sold, like within the last 6 months or even a year, we approach that a little differently. So you'll look at what they sold it for and mark it up from there. So we're going to try to give them, if our numbers make sense, that is. If we came up with an offer of 237 like Manib did, I wouldn't offer him 237. I would be like, okay, this guy, he's not going to make 27,000 spread on this. He's going to be happy with. He wants to get out from underneath this thing because he's too busy. He's going to be happy with 5, 7, 8 grand, maybe 10 grand spread of walking away, so we would negotiate that a little differently. So I would send him. The way we would approach this is that we would send him an offer somewhere around probably starting with 215 and starting that discussion. And when you guys see that, not 215, I'm sorry, 225, we'd probably start or even start at 220. And when you see that, make an offer of maybe $10,000 more than what they bought it for, and then alert me that that's what's going on. And then I'll make that phone call to that investor and start working on him and try to figure out where he needs to be to let this property go, and then if we can make it work. So to wrap that up, that's how we handle these type of properties. So just to recap that, this is the exact same property. It just sold for 210. Then he's got it listed at 255. We came at 237. When you see that type of action going on, we're going to approach that differently. And if you run across it next time, you're not quite sure how to handle it, just reach out to me, and we'll jump on it a different way. So hopefully all that makes sense. But those are the two things that I ran across from this weekend's offers that I wanted to just talk about. They're unique, but you will see them from time to time. And if we deal with them correctly, we can do quite well on them still. We just got to be careful about it. So, anyways, I hope you guys are doing good. So far, I think we've got this one under contract. Solomon and I are working on another one that I think we have a pretty decent shot at. I got a couple other callbacks to make. So overall, yeah, I think hopefully we can get something locked down, a couple of properties locked down this weekend. So talk to you guys soon.